Hey everyone, and welcome back to Gearbox. Last episode, I just kinda checked out a couple things I've been working on, like that weird looking Jeep thing. But today, I figured I'd actually do something kind of specific and update my transport truck. Because once it got to this point, there's also like a sleeper variant of it. But once I got it to this point, I just kind of never drove it or worked on it or anything again. It's just been like this. So I really need to update it. I'd like to put an engine in it instead of four massive motors. I'll keep this variant the way it is and likely update it to an electric version. But either way, I want to put proper engine in it. I need to update the suspension because it is absolutely horrible. It still has my old sway bar design on it. I would like to use different gearboxes if I can. I don't know if I'll go with the clutch gears or if I'll stay with this kind of style, but I would like to change this as well. It has two 3-speed gearboxes in it. It's not that great. And then it's got a bunch of these clutches here to make it just move smoother. And then just basic rear differentials. Like this thing is basic. So I want to, like I said, update it, make it more accurate, make it more interesting. So first of all, I'm going to just rip out these motors so I can start spacing things to put in an engine. I guess I could just take the hood off, but I don't want to. Well, you can't stick motors to other motors. You can do that though. um, yeah, this is just gonna take a lot of work. So there's the chassis. Need to change that bit as well. So I might as well just remove that. This also uses absolutely no glitches of any kind. There's no like script mods used, nothing. This was one of the first things I built even before I built the Jeep. And now I'm building transport trucks like this thing. Just show this really quick. Just a basic 6x6 with straight axles, all-wheel drive, six-wheel drive, I guess I should say, but it's a lot more detailed and better than that is at the moment. So I will leave these gearboxes the way they are for now. I will remove that. Hopefully my mic doesn't pick up the dog barking. Yeah, this is such a pain in the butt. Really? There we go. There's one 200 kilowatt hour battery for each motor. And then there was a separate one for all the lights and stuff that never actually got connected. Okay, that's the bottom one. What else is still attached? Oh, that one. And there we go. There's all the electrical bits out, or what I need to take out, because I'll be moving the battery also. I think the only really cool thing about this that I did was the cab moves separate from the chassis, like a real one. But other than that, it's just super basic. It works pretty well, if I remember correctly, but I really need to change this part as well. So I'm just going to rip those out now. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I wanted that. All of these should have come out. Oh, right, supports and stuff. Really? There we go. Like I said, that was literally only to make the power going from the motors out smoother. Not as jerky as it was. Added so much weight and so much unnecessary whatever. That can stay the way it is for now. And then I'd really like to change up the rear end. I cannot stand how these axles look. So maybe I'll start with the rearmost axle, update the axles, and then I'll update the front end with the steering and whatnot. And then I'll do whatever I need to. Drivetrain up to the engine. So first of all, change that to steel. This, I might... Ooh, I do have to change these because I'll be changing this down to an 8-tooth gear. And I also want it to be in the middle. I don't want the drive shaft offset like that. So let's just remove all of this. Okay. I would like to keep this the way it is. It's a walking beam style suspension that can also move here. I guess it's hard to explain. At least it's hard for me to explain at the moment. Okay, I'm going to remove that. Move those. And then take off the end pieces because they will be changing. That will end up having to be shortened and whatnot. I need to grab the other differential. I don't know if I'm necessarily going to be able to do exactly what I'm hoping to do, but we'll see. It's just because of the way the walking beam is and where these springs are, it might be a bit difficult to just put things where I want them to be. I feel like it's a little misproportioned as well. I'll probably end up building another one at some point. Just a completely brand new, fresh take on it, I guess you can say. Okay, yeah, I'll likely leave them like this in the middle, but I am going to make it look better. Like so. Turn off the collision on the differential so it doesn't interfere, or so this plate doesn't interfere with it. And that's the back of this diff. That can completely go. Let me do that. And then we copy this to here. And then we go again. Ooh. I'm a little off, apparently. My allergies are also driving me nuts right now, so. That's gotta go like that. And then that goes like so. Good enough, whatever. I'm also going to maybe not. Okay, whatever. That can stay like that now. Alright, there's that differential. Now I need to put the mount for that link back on, which just goes on like that. And let's say that is this axle updated. It doesn't need to look amazing, it just needs to look a bit better. This is the first transport truck I ever made in this after all. Here we go. And then this will also be a bit easier to fix if it's spinning the wrong direction. I just have to turn it and flip. Basically just flip the centerpiece. So now for this one, which is going to be a bit more difficult to make look decent, but it should be fine. I also need to make it actually transfer the power through. Wish the dogs would stop barking. There we go. And then this side, I can switch to being a bit more angled and proper looking. Again, if it's wrong, I'll just adjust it. Flip it around. I can do that on both sides, but I don't want it to stick out so far back on that end. Okay, that should be fine. Should be. If I can put it on the ground and drop it, or drop it and then push it. Oh, I still need to put the, No, that's got the gear, all the gears in it. Okay. Why was it leaning to one side so bad? It's not happy with something. I wonder what's colliding and making it be weird. This all should be fine. It was before. That would help. Okay. That front diff is not happy for some reason. Why is it doing that? I can't see anything causing collisions that would mess it up. Ah. Parts being stuck together that shouldn't be would mess it up as well. It's still... Why is it all of a sudden... I think I know why. Yep. Alright, can I push it? No. The differentials are going the wrong ways. Ooh. And this isn't properly attached either. There we go. Which means that's not properly attached either. So I will go like this. Do that to attach those two angled bits. But I also need to flip this one around. Come on, cooperate. Here we go. Okay, that should make it spin the other way. Should. I also need to rotate this. There we go. Okay. That should work now. Here we go. Maybe now. I don't feel like dealing with this right now. There we go. Okay. So that's the rear differentials kind of updated for now. They're still not exactly how I'd like them to be, but They're a bit better, just a little bit better detailed. And then drive shaft's centered now, which is a lot better than it being off to the side. So let's lock everything. I'm not worried about painting it at the moment. And now I need to work on the front. So let's get rid of all these pieces that I don't need now. I'm just literally going to stick this all together and then get rid of it all as one. Like so. Okay. The front suspension really needs to be redone because it is horrible and it wouldn't actually support any weight and so on and so forth. The steering is done horribly, like it's bad. So I'm going to just practically rip out the entire front end. It's one set of coilovers, there's the other, and then the sway bar. Ooh, there we go. That's how I used to do sway bars before they brought out the torsion spring. Or released the torsion spring, whatever. I am tempted to leave the steering the way it is, though. I don't like this part, but I could just leave the steering the way it is. Or I could use like a arm over here and make it a bit more accurate. That's for the gearbox. That's for that. I also don't really like having it a 3-link like this. It's kind of weird. If I could, I'd have leaf springs. But I haven't figured out how to make decent leaf springs yet. And then having the pivot there instead of in the same axis as that, I don't like. Pretty sure this could have just been one long double rounded beam. Fully rounded, whatever. Nope, not quite. Okay. So I'm going to remove this and our bar, track bar, whatever. And then I'm going to take off the drag link, the middle link, and its mounts. I likely will keep it similar to what it's like now, but better and more compact, because this is just horrible. Okay. So, I guess I could keep it like this, but I would like to switch. The rear end is the same way. I typically like having the ball end on the axle and then the centerpiece as the cup, but there's not really much point in changing that at the moment. I would also... Wait a sec. Why did I have a panhard bar when the middle link is a Y link? That would have just made it bind and cause issues. Okay then. I am going to actually change these, because if I move them over by one, put them here instead, I can make them one block longer, which is a bit better. So that goes here, and then we use that. Actually, I need to grab another one of those, put it there, that, it's like that. Yeah, it's a bit better. I mainly just like the way it looks more. Makes more sense to me. And then I'm also probably going to figure out some kind of adjustable rad height, at least on the front. I likely could just put a single link in the middle, or I could put a link coming from here. Let's duplicate this again. I go like that. It's a bit high, but it would work. Or I could also grab one of these. The middle's not really gonna work right. And do something like that. Which I think I will do. Because with doing it like this, if I move that there, change this out for, that's the cup end, yeah. Do that. That should be good enough for those three, and then I can have the panhard bar coming down. That should be fine. And then I can put the springs like somewhere in here, I guess. Let's put the panhard bar back on. I'm also trying to keep them all as straight as possible, because it's just better that way. But if I bring this all the way over, it attaches in a much, much better spot on the chassis as well, rather than being on this arm here. Okay, I like that. But I would like to have as much space as possible up in the engine bay. So I'm going to leave the steering here. The belt only goes back to move the steering wheel. So if I leave the servo there and throw this back on, it should be fine. But I do want to change this bit. So instead of using these, I'm going to use these, I guess. Actually, why don't I use these instead. And use baby bits like this. So that'll look even better for steering, at least in my opinion. Grab these. Actually, let's change where it rotates. There we go. It doesn't really matter, but I could, no. I could move the rack, or not the rack, the tie rod back, but I'm not going to. And now I need to put the steering stabilizer back on, which I kind of need a stronger one than this. So I should probably also use a longer one. So let's just grab the middle one, or medium, sorry. Disable the damping. Oops, sorry, no, it's the damping I want, not spring. And hopefully, yeah, that should be fine. I kind of want to center it. I definitely want to move it away from that. So if I go like this, that is better. I wish I could have one side mounted here and one side mount here without it being glitchy. Because whenever I try the attachment bridging, it just messes up. And I guess, ooh, but that's gonna move back and hit that, so not the greatest idea. I could instead use, oh, that can't go any further either. Crap. Nothing's cooperating. Okay, there we go. And then I'm going to use one of these ones instead. Keep turning off the wrong one. Okay, if I go like that, I can then use one, really? And then use one on this side. And it won't interfere as much. But I do need to move it back over to do this. Oh my goodness. So I'll lock that all together. And I don't want it quite there. I'd rather it be over here. That should be okay. Yeah, that should be okay. Alrighty. That is pretty much done. Hopefully it works better than before, but unfortunately I'm out of time for right now. So, I will likely only be working on this thing on camera. Unlike the Peach that I've been doing slow work on off camera, trying to just get it done. And then once it's done, or once this is done, I should say, I will probably upload it. People like to steal my creations, so I tend to not really upload anything, but I might upload this. It's a bit better now. I've got more room for engine stuff. I can drop the chassis down a bit, change this up. We'll see what happens in the next episode. So, either way, as usual, if you have any tips, tricks, questions, anything you want me to check out, feel free to leave it in the comments below. As always, I hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.